We promised to take Carafly home, which will mean someone riding all night. Where does she live? Asked Magi. She lives in the village of Hillmine. That's to the north of here, isn't it? Yes, that's about 100 miles from here. That's a 2-day ride from here. I can take her to the limits of the valley, then my assistant can see her home. It's only about 15 miles past our borders. It will only take him 4 or 5 hours at a gentle trot, and besides that, Tack loves to ride the unicorns, so it won't be any hardship for him. Then it's settled, said Magi. Yes, said Old Grey Bear, it is. Many thanks. I'll get them ready to move out and fill them in with what's going on. He went back to the others and explained what was going to happen. He turned to Carafly and said, I'm sorry. I know I told you we would take you back, but Magi says it's a 2-day ride from here and we don't have the time. She looked at Old Grey Bear with a look of sadness. Magi and his assistant will escort you home. We wouldn't leave you here alone. So you lot saddle up. Fox grabbed Old Grey Bear by his arm. Can I stay behind to say goodbye to Carafly and catch up with you later? It's only 30 miles. I'll ride through the night. Yes, but then your horse will be worn out. I can keep 2. Magi. Just then Magi interrupted. You don't need a horse for Carafly. She can ride one of the unicorns, so he would still have a fresh horse. And I can give him and the horses something to help with the lack of sleep. Some very special herbs. Well, okay, said Grey Bear, turning his brother away from the others so they could speak in private. You're very fond of Carafly, aren't you, Fox? Yes, I am, and I might never get the chance to see her again. I might not even make it back. It was going to be hard enough going up against bad luck, let alone this keeper of the cave. Please, Old Grey Bear. Okay, baby brother, but be careful, we need you. The others mounted up and followed Magi to the secret path that led out of the valley. Carafly took Fox by the hand and led him to a secluded spot where she had lit a fire and had started to cook. Fox looked at her blonde hair and blue eyes and thought how pretty she was. She whispered in his ear, I think for a young man you have a very nice body. And she ran her hands down his back and patted his bottom. Then she moved away from him and slowly slipped her dress down and said, Have you ever seen a woman naked? Fox looked sleepishly and said, No, not a grown woman. Then she pushed herself against him and pulled up his shirt and slowly undid his buttons. Fox could feel her ample bosom pushed against his now bare chest. It felt so natural and good. Carafly was kissing him. She placed his hands on her breasts, making her nipples tingle. She whispered, Come here and lay down beside me and make love to me. Then she got under the blankets. Fox got undressed and joined her. They spent the next several hours enjoying each other's bodies. Fox had never been with a woman. Carafly taught him where to touch and how to arouse a woman. He thought she was perfect. He had spent the hours kissing every inch of this woman and still wanted more. Then from the darkness came a discreet cough. "It's time to say your goodbyes, young fox." He turned to Carafly and looked her in the eye and said, "Thank you, that is the best lesson I've ever had. If I survive the next 20 days, I will come and visit you." "No, please don't, Fox. My parents would not approve of me seeing you. I am quite a bit older than you, and I have children, and for all intents and purposes I am a married woman. What has passed between us tonight is our secret, something that I shall treasure. You still have a life of fighting and adventure, and I can't be part of that. I have my own life to lead, more subdued and peaceful. It would bore you to death, even if we could find somewhere we could be together. So it's best if you say goodbye now." Fox knew she was right. He flung his arms around her and kissed her passionately. Then he turned to face Magi, who handed him a bag of herbs. "I've already dosed your horses. They will be fine for the trip. If you hurry up, you may get some sleep before you have to set off in the morning."